Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do a castle theme. For the base color, I am using Maybelline Teal for 2 and it's my more blue toned gray. For the plate, we're going to be working with Maniology M593, their castle plate, and they are also going to be doing a live on this today. I saw that last night. Um, but I had already had it planned, so we're going to go ahead. So I think I'm going to first pick up this image up here. So with this plate, you could also bring in like their dragon plate would pair well, or like fairies, things like that. Um, I think so for the pickup for this one, because it's a solid image, it'll be off in the background. We're gonna go to Maniology's Smoke Show B488. Also, I've turned my microphone up. I didn't realize that at some point the volume was turned down. Okay. So I'm gonna set that aside for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to go to this image, and really you can make it as if you're looking inside or outside of the castle. I'm going to use Maniology's Jack B361 and see if I like this color for it. So I was going to film yesterday, but I had an appointment and I was just really worn out. I don't know what the deal was, but I never did get out of it, so I did not end up filming. Okay, so I'm fine with that color. I'm gonna set this one aside to dry. So I did miss you, friends. So I'm glad to be filming today. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I was gonna use this color, but now I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna use this one. This is Kenny Moyo 937. I may change my mind, but I'm just going to take some on the brush itself and tap it around here to kind of lighten this area up. Don't worry, it'll come together later. Almost could give it like a fog effect. Okay, so we're gonna give that a minute to dry now. Okay, now we're gonna go to our castle. And what I'd like to do is, y'all know with my windows, typically I like to add a little bit of light to them. And I'm gonna bring in a different yellow today, friends. We're gonna go to Paparazzi, be optimistic. So I'll just kind of place it around wherever I want. So I was wanting to film earlier today, but we had some more storms come through and it was raining really hard. The wind was really heavy and the lights were flickering, so I was like, I better wait. So once it at least calmed down, I started and now it's much better now. So I'm trying to decide on what all this area. I don't know if that's supposed to be some greenery. Let me do this one as well. This almost actually could be a bit of a watered image, kind of like it's shadowing on the water, if that makes sense. Okay, so I was trying to look at it with that my background. I really like the light with the yellow like that. I think I'm gonna keep that other bottom area left alone. Okay, so for this image, I do want to color in the roses red. So we're gonna go to LA Colors in Maryland. So I'll go through and do each one and be back. Okay, and I'm gonna, for the greenery, go to Maybelline Tropic Talks, you guessed it. Instead of using my darker green, um, I'm gonna go to this one because it's lighter. Um, Also, because of the color I picked up, and the roses are, well, all of it is gonna have a gold outlining versus a dark outlining, but I didn't want to have to use multiple colors. That would have been more difficult. Um, but I wanted the window to have the gold tone, like this part. That would be kind of very time consuming to try to get them into different colors. So I just chose to go with this one and it's fine. At least I hope it'll be fine. So I'll go through and do all the greenery and be back. Okay, I've got one more thing I want to do. I'm going to come back to it in a second. I'm going to go ahead and be placing the castle. I've already applied the clear coat, and this also helps to smooth this area a bit. So when it's ready to place, I'll be right back. Okay. Also, this little stand is was a free gift from one of my orders from Glamorous Nail Essentials. So I figured I'd use it today. Okay, what I do want to do is I do think I'm going to kind of make that a little bit of watery look right under here. Just going to take my Color Vibe Blue Skies to do so. Grab my other brush over here. And I'm okay with some texture. Okay, let me add a little bit more right through here. Okay, and we're going to let that dry for a minute. Okay, so we're going to come back to this image. What I want to do is take Color Vibe Lunar and just with the brush itself. This could be a bad idea, but we'll find out. And just kind of go over the window with it like so. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, it gives it a glisten. So we're gonna let this dry for a minute now. Okay, so in the meantime, we're gonna go back to the plate. I'm kind of working in sections so that I can keep my thoughts. I don't want to mix up my scenes of what I have planned. And this is just easier for me to do so. Okay, so let's go to this image here because I know I'm going to use this one as well. So I'm having to really pick my colors wisely, and I'm kind of concentrating because I was like, okay, well, I'd like for the trunks of the trees to be brown. Like the rest to be green. So I could try to do both. Let's try that. So what I'll do is for the trunk of the trees, I'll use Maniology's Boba B330. And for the greenery, I'm going to use Maniology's Emerald City B514. So I just got to make sure get both bottles open and ready to go because they do dry fast being regular stamping polishes, and just hope that this works out. If not, what we could do is pick it up in one color, which would probably be the green because there's majority of green versus brown. And then just paint in where I need the brown to be, basically. Okay. So when I scrape down, it could blend, but that's okay. We're just gonna try it. Okay, that's fine. I'm actually happy with that. I just got to take off that um, bottom area. So yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, if you are too nervous to do that, just do it in the main color. And then you can always use you like a little brush like this just to go over um, whatever you need to go over. So before I move on, we're gonna get this image placed over this image. Now this is fine just like that. That's a whole look itself. Oh, but I'm gonna place this one over it, and I am a bit nervous just because um, I don't know how it's all gonna lay down. So when it's ready to be placed, I'll be back and we'll place it. Okay, so gonna concentrate on, I think on the middle portion. And I'm gonna try to take my time, and if we need to add anything, we can always add. Oh, let me move over. Make sure I'm in frame. I see that got a piece of dog hairs on there. Ooh, that's a breath holder. Okay, so mostly I think what I could do, because these are longer nail tips. Hmm, we could leave it, or we could add some greenery down here to blend it. So you see that shine coming through that from that lunar color I used? Okay, so I'm thinking just for a minute. So I think what I'll do is see how everything else kind of lays down, and I can always come back to this one. I'm also trying to decide, do I add a bit more of lunar just to that water area to kind of make it more watery? I may do that, but I'm not positive. We'll just think about it and come back. Okay, so on this one, I want to do the flowers in Candy Moyo 935. I think this one and that window one are my favorites. Let's see. Okay, so I'll go through and do all the flowers and be back. Okay, so this time for the greenery, we're going to go to the darker green Candy Mayo 961. Well, always call this one the darker green just because it's the olive green, but it's not, maybe it's not technically the darker one. I don't know. That's how I associate them. Because if I do the other green that would, it's going to blend too much because it's close to the pickup color. Not that this one's far from it. So I'll do all the rest of the green and be back. All right, so since this is a watered image, same thing, gonna go back to lunar and add it. I don't feel like I need to add a blue first because the background, I think, is going to help with that. And then this will just add to it. And I'm just using the brush, plopping it on there. Isn't that pretty? You can see that shimmer. Okay, so let's flip it. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and add some of that lunar onto here, just on the water area through the window. Okay, and I've actually kind of ended up switching part of my plan, which is another reason I didn't want to add, I wanted to work on one at a time so I could kind of really get my idea and feel for the way I want to place things. So, since I have changed it on this one, I'm going to go back to our color like we used earlier. And I need to kind of put this basically at the top, toward the middle up. Okay. So what I could do, plop some down, and instead of just having it all across it, we will just go to Crazy Brush, and I'm just going to dabble it around. That way we can have, if we want, we still have a little bit of this base color coming through. Some of this will already, will get covered, but some won't, and that's okay. Most of this bottom portion is going to be covered, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I need to give this just a minute to dry, and I'll be back. Also, I just had got some of this LA Color Rapid Dry Top Coat to try. It was $1, so I was like, I'm gonna try and see if it'll just kind of hopefully speed up my process of waiting for uh to lay down the images. Okay, so this image is gonna go on this nail. So I'm gonna focus on kind of where I want to have it. So I'm kind of pressing down to prevent it from hopefully wrinkling. Okay, so what I can do, okay, that just pulled the image. Don't do that. It was not ready for me to do that. So I'm going to use this to push it up. Okay, so I'm not going to touch that right now. But right here, what I can do is get that lunar color, come down with it. Right here. I'm looking because I'm trying to decide if I want to also pull down the green or do I want all of it to be in the blue. So I think I might add a little green. So I've got that olive green. So I'm just going to tap a little bit on here. I'll also probably pull in that other green as well to match the rest of it. So if your image is ever pulling like that, you can either just wait till it dries fully to take it off or tuck it under. Okay. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of Emerald City just so it'll match. Okay, so I also saw that I need to bring a bit of it up right here. So I'll get it to the way I like it and be back. So I'm gonna set this one aside. Now we're gonna go to this plate. M035 for Maniology. I'm gonna get this little tiny fairy right here, and I don't think I'm gonna get the little flower thing with her. I'm still gonna use Maniology Smoke Show for the pickup. So I'll have to take off any extra pieces. Okay, something don't look right with her, so I'm gonna redo that and be back. So she's very tiny, but what I want to do is I'm gonna take a bit of Cozy because it's more opaque than my regular one, and I'm gonna do her little wings with that. I'm having to be careful because I don't want to peel them up. Oh, she's so little. And she has bottom wings as well. So let me get a little bit more on here because I can tell it's going to start to peel. Okay, so while I let her dry, we're going back to this plate. I got two napkins. Okay, so let's go to this image here. I think because it's got a lot of branch to it and it's got this little brick walkway. I'm gonna see how I feel about this color tone. I don't want this one to look dark and scary. I want it a little bit broader toned. So let's do Maniology's Caramel B353. Also, I realize a lot of times I'll call this caramel. It's caramel. That's just I have always said caramel, and I learned later that it is technically looks to be pronounced as caramel. So I try to remember that, but I don't always. Okay, and you can tell there's should be some greenery in here. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. Okay, I'm trying to kind of see how I feel about this. So I'm gonna set this one aside to dry. Okay, so I'm still gonna pull in the slider tone throughout, so it's not so dark. Now I'm gonna do this from the kind of right here up. Um, when I chose this color tone, I was kind of trying to pick something that would I could work with. Sometimes I'll go lighter, sometimes like this one, I just felt like if I wanted it to kind of be like kind of a nighttime theme, but not quite so dark, I thought it would be fine to work with. And didn't want to go with white for the clouds because I didn't really want it to be a daytime look. So anyway, that way you know where my thoughts are. So I will get it to the way I want and be back. So what I would like to do is for the brick area, go with Candy Mayo 952 and color that part in. Mm, looking to see if this is going to be too dark. Uh-oh, that wasn't good. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is for like this portion here, I'm going to go in with I think I'm going to try the Tropic Talks and see how it looks with it first. Okay. Okay. I don't like that one. I'm gonna pull in my olive green. I'm gonna make it all come together best I can. Some of it will have to be after it's placed. Okay, so I'll do this part until I get it the way I want and be back. Okay, so I'm not done with it, but this is how it's looking right now. Okay, that one we're waiting to dry. This one is ready. We're gonna place our little fairy, and I'll tell you why do we have a fairy in just a minute. Okay, we need to go ahead and place this one. Oh, wait. I forgot. I need to do this other thing first. Okay, so now we're going to go to this plate for Maniology M579. I don't know. I think this time I'm going to go to Maniology's Cloudburst B427. So I want to get this image here. I need to place this first instead of after because if they, if the image, I need the main part to overlap versus them overlapping. Gosh, I hope I make sense. Okay. So let me just kind of get them placed. Okay, let me fix their heads real quick. This happens quite often. So I'm just gonna use my brush to touch up where it's spaced their heads. And get just to tap it off a little bit. Okay. Well, I still see a spot. I can't really see it in person, but I can see it showing up on camera. Okay. Okay, so what I was trying to say was I need them first so that this overlaps them so they're placed in the middle of this thing versus if they were out of it, it would uh they would be overtaking. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. So because of that, I'll have to add more of that clear coat and be back. While I wait for that to do its thing, I'm gonna come back to the fairy. Gonna take some of our change my mind. We're gonna take Lost Gold instead. I was gonna take Cozy. We're gonna take Maniology Lost Gold B374 and just add a little bit of fairy sparkles. So I'm just gonna touch my brush to it and just do some little dots. Okay, let's see if we can get this one on here right. Concentrating on their head area. Okay. Until that one's not going on good. Okay. So now I'm going to go into my fixing mode. Okay. So I did want the upper portion like to be in that tone, color tone, but I'm going to have to bring in a bunch of green and I want to do Tropic Talk, excuse me, with an S. Just kind of dot it around. So I'm also having to decide if I'm gonna bring down the the brick area, or am I going to add it, like just do some green there. Okay, I am bringing the brick area down. Oh, I gotta color it in. My bad. So while that dries a minute, I've got some of Cloudburst over here. I'm gonna touch this area up. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Just like where her dress would have been. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna add this portion of the brick. Oh, did not mean to already touch it, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with it. Otherwise, I'd have messed up more. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna work with my green to kind of get it the way I want. So I'll also probably pull in my other green. I'm kind of actually thinking I don't really like the bare look of these. I'm going to do like I have done many times before. I'm just gonna make my own leaves because that image doesn't have leaves, but I want leaves. So as always, I use my crazy brush. I'll tap it around, get it the way I want. So when I get that part to the way I want, I'll be back. Just so you know, I'm also bringing in some of that olive green. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm pulling in that pink we used earlier. So now, same process, but we're basically making it look like added flowers. Okay, so it's just gonna take some time. We'll just do it here and there. I'm also kind of looking at the camera to see how it's showing up on there. So I think it's the color tone. I'm gonna have to use a different color. Okay, we'll get it. It just takes some playing around. So I'm gonna pull in some of Color Vibes Cherry Blossom. Yeah, see that one you can see. Just kind of lightly tap around. Also adding it to the little bush area. So I know it is time consuming, but I want you to see what I'm doing. And I'm trying to really pay attention and look and see where everything's being laid down at. So I can see if I need to add or take or change anything. Okay. Okay, so to save you on some watch time, I've done the same thing to this one, just to lighten it up a bit. This one I don't think will take quite as long. So we're gonna get this image here. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to do like I did on the nail that had the fairy. I'm gonna do the trunks and the little bridge area. I'm gonna try to do in Boba, and the rest I'm gonna try to do in Emerald City. Okay. Okay, good. That did work out again. Yay. Okay, so set aside. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with my olive green color, and let me see if I can just all this green area, I'm just gonna swap a little bit on there so it's got a little bit of that color. I need to probably darken that a little bit, so I'll just go through and darken it just by tapping it, kind of get it a little bit more opaque. All right, so I gotta let this dry now. Okay, and we are close to being done. We are gonna go back to this plate though. I need to let that other one dry. In the meantime, we're gonna take, yeah, I think I am gonna go ahead with Emerald City. We're gonna pick up this general area here. Okay, it's like so. Okay, and I did the same thing again on this one. Okay, so back to this plate. We're gonna get this image, but this time I'm gonna go to Maniology's Acorn B498. Instead of the gray, because I haven't decided what color I'm gonna use, because this one can be reverse stamped. Okay. Okay, so for this image, I have my Maybelline Serene Still. We're gonna bring in a little bit of that for the mountain area. Trying to decide if I'm bringing in something else as well. Thinking for the lower portion, I will. So I guess I could have picked this up in green. I mean, excuse me, in gray, but I was kind of thinking of these trees. Okay, so I'll do the rest and come back. Okay, so I'm thinking for the lower portion, we'll go with the olive green, since this is the other green tone. I'm just gonna swipe it on there. Okay, and then I kind of got to make a decision if I want it a bit darker, and I do. Just plop some more on. Okay, so we'll have to, of course, give that time to dry. So set that one aside. Okay. Real quick, we're gonna get this one placed. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is get my greens to pull down, finish this part off and this part up here. So I'll just do my dabbing situation and come back. Okay, so now what I want to do is go to plate BM-XL214 for Maniology. So I think I'm going to use Smoke Show. Well, I know I am. That's what I'm going to use. Okay, I'm going to get this. This is a unicorn, but I think I'm just going to make it into a horse. So I'll just have to take off the horn. Oh, so gotta work fast. I don't even see the horn. Okay, so I'm not gonna work fast because it didn't completely pick up. I'm gonna just touch up with my brush here instead of trying to pick it up again. I'm just gonna do it myself. Okay, no, 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 no. Since his legs are so thin, I changed my mind. It made his body big and his legs little, so that's fine. However, it gets picked up. But it does miss, it makes it miss. No, I can't do that. So I guess when I get one, I'll come back. So I didn't like any of them. I ended up back at my original one. Okay, so this one's gonna go on this image on the bridge. This is the smallest um horse slash image slash unicorn that I have. So I'm just having to work with it. We're just gonna pretend he's not that big off in the distance running on the bridge. Trying to look and see about how I should place him. Okay. For this image, I'm gonna do that same thing with the little tiny couple of windows in the door. So I hope all this will come together okay. Like, so I'm gonna put Tropic Talks on this lower portion here. Okay, for the rest of the castle, let's do this tone of gray. LA Colors and Mod. Okay, so almost done, friends. Okay, so this will go for the stairs and the castle. Okay, let's look and see if it's turning out or not. Okay, that'll be fine. All right, so we're going to apply this mountain image to this now. Trying to see where the bottom is. All right. So I put up some green to bring down on that bottom nail. And I can't remember if I told you, I did go ahead and add green to the bottom of this one as well. Okay, last thing here, friends. So it had these little stars around it, but so they got painted with the dark tone. That's okay. I guess I should have taken them off, but I don't know. I decided to leave them. I could color it in if if it bothered me. I don't know. So this has lots of different options you can do. Okay, so I did end up trying to cover that a bit. Okay, I know this was so long. Not even counting me pausing, y'all. So there we go. Our castle theme. So we got a lot going on. So this one, it's got the flowers and the pretty water stream. So I put the little fairy here with her little sparkles because she's like the fairy godmother. Because we have our prince and princess here in like the garden scene, because originally, if you remember, this just had the bare um, branches. I didn't love that. I wanted to add green, so I did. And then I wanted it to have kind of a romantic feel, so I decided to bring in the flowers for it. And it's got the little brick walkway. Then we have the window look of the castle. So it's got the roses, the greenery, the gold. The castle image has the lights and the little water area, which we added more of that lunar color to make it a little bit more sparkly, watery like. And then this one, I wanted to have like the horse, even though it's a unicorn, we made into a horse, but I didn't get the horn taken off, so it is a unicorn. Whatever. It's okay. It can be the magical unicorn. Like because of the horse and carriage top thing. So I wanted to add that on the bridge, like he's just going over to the other side. Just thought that would be a fun addition because I was trying to think of different things I could bring in. And then the last one is just another little castle scene. Okay, let's say this. This is when you're looking out and you can see the castle from away. This is when you're looking at a different a different area and you're looking at it up on the mountain. except this one does have the green and this one has the water. I didn't think that part through too well. Let's just say the water's on the back side. It's fine. Because I was trying to think of just something like a different way to bring in the castle without uh, using all the images on that specific plate. So I was like, well, we could have a mountain one, but there's all kinds of different things you could do. And I think like regular, like other fairies, like that would be so pretty, just bringing different fairies in. Again, that dragon plate or any dragon plate, that would be fun. The whole like princess theme isn't even on that plate, but you can bring it into that plate. You could make the castles creepy or not creepy. Lots of different options. So I hope you guys like this one. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I will list the Maniology products I used in the description box. And until the next one, have a blessed day. Love you, friends. Bye.